Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And this morning I just wanted to do a quick video for you guys. Just wanted to give you kind of like a 1 year update review on my Pinarello Dogma F10 bicycle I got last year. Now I wanted to pull up and see, but I've basically got about just on my Strava right now, taking a look at how many miles I've got. According to my Strava, and I'm pretty accurate about logging which bike I'm riding on any particular ride. And according to my Strava, I've got about 5,200 miles now on my Pinarello Dogma. So I just wanted to give you guys like a little review on the Pinarello Dogma. So if you're looking to maybe get this bicycle or something, maybe, just trying to give you guys a little bit of information on the bike. Now, I'm going to break this review down into a couple of different areas. And the first area I'm going to focus on is price. I mean, let's face it, price is a big, aspect when you're thinking about buying a bicycle. And there's no other way to put it, but the Pinarello Dogma F10 is an expensive bicycle. So I don't know if you can or can't afford it, but I mean, it's expensive, and I'm going to pretty much leave it at that. So you're going to have to make up in your mind whether or not you can afford a bicycle like this. So it is a very expensive bicycle. But that being said, it's also a very good performing bicycle, and I want to talk about the performance of the bicycle, and in particular, I want to start out talking about the weight of the bike. Now, I don't know the exact slogan, but I know that Pinarello kind of has a concept of, we don't build, light bikes, we build fast bikes. And, so, and if you look at any of like the pro racing, like Team Sky, for example, you don't see Team Sky riding the Dogma F10 on a flat stage and then some other bike on the mountain stages. They ride the Dogma F10 every stage because it is Pinarello's top-of-the-line, fastest bike they make. And it's kind of like a good all-around bicycle. It's good in the climbs, it's good in the flats, it's kind of good everywhere. And that would be my honest assessment of the Dogma F10 so far, is the bike seems to be just really good kind of all around. Now, weight-wise, it isn't the lightest bicycle in the world. I think the frame is, the F10 I've got here, I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like maybe 780, 800 grams. Don't quote me on that, guys, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood. So there are lighter bicycles out there. But that being said, the Dogma F10 is still very light. In fact, this bike with the, with my PowerTap P1 pedals, with the little, Garmin mount holder, with my bottle cages, everything on the bike. I've got my Flow wheels on here right now, but when I have my tubulars, which are a little bit lighter, when I have my NV tubulars on here, everything else on the bicycle except the Garmin itself, but pretty much ready to race, minus the Garmin, my bike was coming in at spot on 15 pounds, which, and again, that's with the PowerTap P1 pedals, which are actually a little bit heavy. So if you were just running, like if I had my, my Look carbon pedals on here, I could probably knock that. This bike would probably weigh in ready to race around 14.5 pounds, and about as light as I could get it. Pretty much, stock. So it is a light bicycle. And that being said, it's a very aerodynamic bicycle. It's a beautiful bike as far as shape, but it's got a lot of that aero contouring. And just for a point of reference, guys, I've got a hill near my house, and this is kind of where I do my aero testing. It's a 1.8 mile hill, and I use it, both as my training hill going up, and of course, I have to descend it. So when I come down, I use that as like my aero testing, because the climb itself is pretty. It's pretty secure as far as like there's a lot of tree canopy around, so it's never like super windy on that hill. So it's kind of like a good way to test the aerodynamics of my setups. And just for an example, I was on, just like a week ago, I was on my Cervelo R3, and I had a set of Zip 404s on there, and I want to say, like, as fast as I could get going down the hill was like by myself was like 37, 38 miles an hour. was about as fast as and that's pretty consistent with that R3. On that hill, I can probably get up to like 38 by myself. Just the other day, I was on the Dogma coming down there, and it was actually a little bit chilly, so I really wasn't like trying to go like as fast as I could go. But on the Dogma, with my Flow 60s on the bike, I got to like 39, almost 40 miles an hour. So I just seemed like I could get going a little bit faster with a little bit less effort. And I noticed on that descent that, you know, the Dogma F10 is a lot less twitchy than the Cervelo R3 was. Now, again, there was a difference in wheels. Some of that difference is obviously the wheels. I mean, is the Flow 60 a little bit better than the Zip? I don't know. I'll have to maybe try to do some different testing on that later on down the line. But just in general, this Dogma F10, and again, every time I've ridden this bicycle, regardless of the wheels, the bike just tracks on rails. You know, it's very secure front end. That's one thing I really like about this bicycle, because I'm not the greatest descender in the world. In fact, I would argue, you know, descending and time trialing are probably my weakest, you know, aspects of my riding personally. I'm not a great descender, but this Dogma F10 actually gives me some added confidence in the descents, because the front end is just so stable, and it's like, even if it is a little bit windy, it just glues to the road, and it's very stable. So aerodynamically, I think the bike is stellar. I've also noticed in my riding that just on a general, even if I'm on like a general, you know, endurance ride, it just seems like my average speed, not that I worry about average speed at all, because, you know, I'm a power-based rider, so I'm usually riding to power, but it just seems like I can generally go faster, average speed-wise, on the Dogma F10 than I can any other bike I own for the same given effort. So, you know, I would have to say, again, I haven't done any formalized aero testing, but just in my riding, from my experience, you know, over the 550-200 miles of riding the bike, I find it to be very aerodynamically efficient, very stable at high speeds. It climbs very well. The bike climbs very well. In fact, a couple of my, you know, I say most prestigious, but a couple of the KOMs that are on the most difficult climbs I've done, a couple of the KOMs that I own on Strava, I did on this bicycle. So it's a great bike. Just for anybody who hasn't seen, I did do a couple of first impressions videos of this bike on my channel earlier on. But just so you know, the bike has got SRAM Red ETAP components. So it's you know, it's a high-end bike, and it performs as such. I mean, it's a great bicycle. Again, I mean, I'm trying to think about what else I could comment on. I mean, again, weight. It's on the upper end of things as far as good. I mean, it's light, but there is lighter. Aerodynamically, again, I don't know if it's the fastest bike out there, but it's good. It's a good feeling bicycle. It is very stiff. That's one thing I wanted to comment on, is it's a very stiff bike. So I mean, obviously, I think anybody knows that the Dogma F10 is a racing bicycle, but you know, I would say that if you're the kind of guy that just wants to get a bicycle for, you know, Grand Fondos or just group riding or kind of just general fitness, I might steer you away from the Dogma F10, because this bike is a purebred racing machine, and it puts you in that racing geometry. So unless that's what you want, which is what I do want, I mean, I race my bikes, I want that race geometry, and I like that race feel. The bike is very racy, it feels racy, and it keeps you in that racy position, which I've heard can wear some people out, or some people don't like to ride, you know, 5-6 hours in that position. I actually enjoy it personally. I ride a 50 centimeter, my bike's a 50 centimeter. It fits me really good. I have no complaints about the bicycle at all. It's performed very well. So I really don't know what else I can comment about, guys. I mean, like I said, it's a good all-around race bike. I mean, if you're looking for a race bike that can kind of do everything, this is it. In fact, I've got an important time trial coming up next weekend for the Killington stage race. The third day, the third stage ends. The race ends in a time trial, and I won't lie to you guys, I'm actually considering putting my set of my arrow. I got a little set of clip-on arrow bars that I had originally back when I first got into cycling. I do have a TT bike. I have a Felt B12 time trial bike. I'm not lying to you. I'm actually seriously considering bringing the Dogma with me. Well, I'm going to bring the Dogma. I'm going to bring the Dogma with me for the race, but I'm thinking about time trialing on the Dogma with my clip-on bars over my time trial bike. I mean, I just feel myself, and again, I'm not saying that that's a generalized good idea for everybody. If you're a strong time trialer, I think maybe you probably are better off on your time trial bike. But I'm not a great time trial rider. I don't really care. I don't seem to perform well in my time trial position. So I think I can probably be faster on my Dogma. And I would have to argue that aerodynamically, I don't think I would be losing much, you know, with the Dogma. So I'm considering using this for an upcoming time trial even. But all in all, guys, I'm very happy with the bicycle. I've had it about a year now. Again, I got 5,200 miles on it. A lot of those miles are on the rollers here because I, you know, rode this bicycle a lot last winter on the rollers. But I do have, you know, at least a couple thousand miles outside on it. Have ridden it in a host of terrains, you know, hilly stuff, flat stuff, you know, descending type stuff. All around great bike. You know, weight wise, it's right there with any high end bike. I don't put it this way. I don't think you're not gonna get dropped or lose time because you're riding a Dogma on a steep hill instead of a Trecamonda per se. Okay. In fact, it could even be argued that the aerodynamics of the Dogma would kind of neutralize things. So all around, it's a great bike. It performs well in the climbs. It descends well. It rides the flats well. It's just fast. I like the bike. Can't see it going anywhere. I can't see it. I see it being in my stable of bicycles for a long time to come. But just wanted to give you guys kind of an updated one-year look at the Dogma. That's my thoughts on it. Leave me some questions. If you guys have any questions on the bike, let me know. I'll try to answer any questions you guys might have. But again, guys, I appreciate all the support on the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys right back here in my next video.